Everything is on the table. It's Relationship Theory with Tina Laws.
Welcome back to Relationship Theory, where we talk about all things relationships and no topic is off the table. So just to recap, for those of you who are just tuning in, I'm your host, Tina Laws, and we're being joined by Mr. Darius Richardson and Ms. Kama Simmons. And we talked about when to recognize a dysfunctional relationship. We've been talking about it for the entire time. And one of the things we wanted to do is just recap some of those things and some of those ways in which you can recognize when you're in a dysfunctional relationship, a domestic violent relationship, any relationship that's unhealthy. So let me just let you start, Mr. Richardson. What's some of the ways in which one can start, I guess? Well, let's recap first. Let's recap on some of those things in which you can recognize if you're in a dysfunctional relationship.
We talk about recognizing the person being angry all the time at everybody, and setting the cashier straight, setting the bus drivers straight. People at your job, family members and whatnot. They always gotta tell off people. It's that thing. And then another thing would be abuse of alcohol and drugs is another red flag. Past the medium. Some people drinking, but it is overboard. Doing angry things. The way they say, if this person's like that, I'll slap him. This person's like that, I'll punch him. Things like that. Yeah. Or another one is almost stalkerish. It seems like they cur. They'll call you 7:00 every morning, and it just happens that you ran to the bathroom at that time and you didn't answer it right on that time. It's a big problem. Or they show up at places where you didn't invite them. It could be something very intimate in family.
And you park for work.
Right, and then they follow you to your gym practice. The waiting outside, everything. It seems, this person really cares about me, but that person's got stalkerish ways. They say, I gotta know where you are all the time. I'm looking out for you. No, you don't gotta know. You gotta trust me.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And so, you talked about isolation from your family, and they're always picking on every little thing that you do that you're not doing it right. They listen to everything you say about your life and your family, then they use it against you.
Yes.
So that's just a few.
Yeah, and that's a form of manipulation. Yeah. So they outright manipulate you. Yeah. They make you feel as though you've done something wrong. And although you know in your heart of hearts you didn't do anything to warrant this behavior.
Not good enough.
After being told, and that's anybody, after being told the same thing over and over and over, you believe it. And so that goes for positive or negative. Yeah. And so those are some of the recaps. And what would you add to it?
I would say, just not feeling comfortable around the person, walking on eggshells all the time, having to explain yourself, not feeling like you're good enough.
Yes.
So there's
something just came to me. The other thing is that it's like I call it the yo-yo relationship. 1 minute you're feeling happy and you're dressed up and you're going out, and then the next day you're walking around your family members. You don't want to talk to nobody. Your attitude, everything's
withdrawn,
hunchy. Your family or your cousins or your best friends ask you to do something, and all of a sudden you're mad at them. You're picking on them. You don't want to do anything because your relationship all of a sudden is going haywire. And so you go and you become a recluse. You put yourself in a situation where you don't want to be bothered with anybody. As soon as somebody says something, but in actual fact, it's not those other people. It's your relationship. Because it's that yo-yo. Today we're great. He's loving me today. We're hanging out, and tomorrow I don't know where he is, or I'm not good enough. And so those are some of the recaps that we all thought about together. I might have missed some out, but there's basically the recaps. And one of the things we want to do before we do close out is talk about an escape plan. For many, it's easy to find an escape plan, different parts of the world, but in Bermuda, we are very limited, and it's very unlikely that you will actually escape your batterer unless you stay in your home or underground 24/7, which is something we do not do. And so what are some of the things you would suggest as an escape plan, Darius?
Okay, some people, they're trapped by money. They're trapped by, I don't know what to do about the house, what I'm going to do about my children. And as a facilitator, some people will say, I need to leave now, no matter what. I saw a gentleman yesterday, and he said this, I'm going to try to put it right. He says, when the fear of remaining the same gets greater than the fear of the unknown and change, that's when you leave.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Because the fear of, what I'm gonna do, I don't know where I'm gonna go. But the fear of staying in that abusive relationship gets greater than the unknown of change. That's when you leave.
And sometimes, as we all know, we make plans. I have plans I made about 10 years ago, and I'm still working on them. But I can assure you, we're working on them, right? And so you have to have a plan. So the first step, tell somebody. Second step, go to a support group. Third step, make a plan. How am I going to get out of this relationship? Do I have to move, or do I have to leave the island? Whatever it may be, make a plan, and then you work on executing it.
Right. Look in the phone book for the agencies that deal with domestic violence. And they'll guide you also. And like you said, the male support group, we have men that don't know what to do. They don't know how I'm going to get out of this. You know, dealing with divorce, the court, the children and everything, and vice versa, the women, because they don't understand the court system and whatnot. And it's not against the man, it's not against the woman, it's for the child.
It's for the child and for the family. But you know what, there are so many factors as to why people stay. And I think it's so important that we don't put that pressure on them, because a lot of times we're quick to say just leave. And whether they are CEOs or unemployed, whether they're homemakers or cake makers, it doesn't matter. We all have to be in a position of feeling comfortable enough to say, you know what, I'm in this relationship, and not everybody leaves. Not everybody walks away right away. So that's where you align yourself with a support group. You need that support so that you can take the time out to say, while I'm brainstorming what it is I want to do, I have this support group, and let me know that I'm not crazy. Because a lot of people say, oh my God, it must be me, I'm crazy. But when you get in a group with other women or men, you know you are very much normal. And now what you're doing is doing something even more normal, some normalcy to your life. You're doing it in a supportive environment, and you're doing it until you can make the next move, which is whatever it may be for you.
I think both you and I that run support groups can definitely say that the people that have stuck with it, they're so much happier. Their life has progressed.
Absolutely.
You know, I'm looking like, man, look at me. You know, the back out dating again, and they're being more careful this time. You know what I mean?
And the life's so much better. I mean, look at me. I've been married 20 years this year. So life does not have to end in an abusive relationship. There is life after death. And on that note, I want to thank you for tuning in, and we'll certainly be looking forward to you joining us again next week. Have a great day.